Good evening, everyone. Everybody having a fun time? Yeah. Excellent, excellent. Well, welcome to our reception. Really excited to have you all here today. This is a very special event for us. Not only are we having a welcome reception, but we're also launching our new product. May have seen some of that already online on social media. I'm really excited to walk you through today, through the launch and what we've launched. I want to send a special thank you for our customers, partners, our team, our investors, and all the friends of ZEDEDA, we lovingly call Fozzies. Welcome all. Really excited to have you all here. Today is the first day of NVIDIA GTC. It's been amazing. If you had an opportunity to go yet to the stage and watch also Jensen's keynote, the AI market is just incredible in terms of momentum and what's happening. And we're really excited today to talk about more about how we're going to be part of that. But before I go there, I'm also really excited to do this in our San Jose office. This is actually our building, not the entire building. We have a small part of the building. But San Jose is a special place. It's the headquarters of Silicon Valley. It's the innovation capital. And really, if you think about innovation, and some of you, as you know, what ZEDEDA means, which is in Arabic something new or innovative, innovation is at the core of our DNA and really something that is very important to us. And maybe to understand a little bit more where we came from, back in 2016, the company's almost 10 years ago this year, when we started, this wasn't all about AI in those days. It was all about cloud. Everything was going to the cloud. The cloud was exploding very, very rapidly. And the cloud was bringing lots of benefits to the industry that we hadn't seen before. The agile software development, the ability to rapidly develop applications, rapidly scale them, rapidly update them and make them better. And the world was changing very, very quickly at that time if your application was running in the cloud. When we started with ZEDEDA, we said, well, that's great if your app runs in the cloud. But what about all these other applications that have to run at the edge, that have to run in factories, that have to run in stores, that have to run on ships? How do we get those same superpowers that the cloud gives to the edge? And that was really the creation of ZEDEDA in its early days. Like, how do we take that forward? How do we innovate and build on all that great cloud and bring it to the edge? Fast forward to today, I'm so excited where we are as a company. We have some of the largest enterprises in the world using our products as they deploy edge infrastructure and deploy applications and services. And what I like most about our business is that while we are providing a technology and kind of quote unquote IT solution, we are running at the heart of these customers. Like customers like Schlumberger, SLB, one of the largest oil and gas field services company in the world. They use us to run all the applications they need for exploration, drilling, and production in oil and gas. We have customers like Maersk, one of the large container shipping companies, and we're running on 600 ships as we speak that are all over the ocean transporting goods. And through us, they're able to provide real-time visibility on what's going on from a cargo point of view. We have customers like Bob's. Maybe somebody you don't know, but if you ever touched an Amazon Prime box, it was made by their machines. They have thousands of machines deployed. And in each of those machines, we run the entire application stack needed for connecting these machines back, for maintenance and everything else. We have customers like Emerson, one of the largest automation companies in the world that provides solutions for refineries, chemical plants, and battery companies. And again, through them, we have been deploying in all of their customers as part of their Delta V Edge solution. And then customers like VW, Volkswagen Group, which is powering the entire infrastructure that is related to servicing vehicles. So if you own a VW, Audi, whatever brand, and you drop it off at a service center anywhere in the world, all the applications needed to service the vehicle are running in that service center on top of our architecture and platform. And then last but not least, another really cool customer is PV Hardware. They build solar farms. They operate solar farms. We're running on 600 farms around the world. Super exciting deployment. And really also part of sort of where the renewable energy is going. So all in all, very, very strategic to these customers. So strategic that some of them actually invested in our company through our rounds of funding. And we maintain really close and direct relationships with them. And I could not be more grateful for the support that we have from these customers. Now, today, everything is about AI. We're here at GTC, so the largest AI conference in the world. And if I look at AI and how the evolution has been going over the last couple of years in AI, we started with ChatGPT back in 2022. It was cool. It could talk to you. It could help you with your homework or recipes or all kind of different things. And boy, if you look at where we were and where we are today with the rapid adoption of AI, it's incredible. Every enterprise right now has an AI strategy. Every enterprise is trying to figure out how to use AI to become more competitive. And in some ways, this makes me feel a lot like 2016 when it was all about cloud, but now it's all about AI. And I would also state that because of the cloud, AI has been able to grow and scale so quickly. So AI has started in the cloud. All the services and everything else we're used to have been using, cloud code and everything else is in the cloud, but it's changing. And even today, when Jensen did his keynote, he talked about that we're at an inflection point. We're moving to inference. And we're also moving to taking all the intelligence that's enabled by inference and shifting that now to the edge, to the physical world. This is exciting. This is really right where we are operating already today with a lot of our customers. And we're seeing that as well as we work with our customers, that they're all starting to think about like, well, how do we evolve our applications to agents? How do we put LLMs everywhere, in the factories, in our dealers and everywhere else, stores and everything else? And really, we're moving now to the era of inference and edge AI. Now, it's still early, but having said that, we're starting to see really great momentum. And one of the things we've been doing for a while is we run annual surveys with lots of professionals, existing customers, but also other folks, and ask them questions about how are you looking at AI? What are you doing with edge AI? And a couple things that I really thought were insightful in the survey, we just ran it recently and reported on it last week, is that 83% of the people we talked to, they all confirm that edge AI is strategic to their core business. What we also saw is that 86% of the people we reached out to, they're already doing some form of edge AI. Could be researching, could be also deployments. And we actually have some customers in deployments that I'm really excited to talk to you about later on. We also asked them, what are your key barriers that are holding you back to roll out edge AI? And there were sort of 5 that came out. And the number 1 was managing distributed edge AI. How do you tame that infrastructure? How do you deploy your AI in all of these environments? Very similar to what we saw earlier when people started to taking cloud capabilities and pushing them to the edge. But also how to integrate with existing systems. How to deal with security. You're going to have agents autonomously doing things in your factories. You probably want to know what they're doing and if they're doing it the right way. And also what came back is there wasn't always enough internal expertise in these organizations to really push things forward and take them there. And last but not least, which has always been a primary driver of edge, people are worried about the data. Their data is theirs. They don't want it to be sent to a cloud. They don't want to be stored or accessed by others. So these were the things that really came back. But ultimately, it was really about how do we manage workloads at scale is a key topic. So for us, the way we think about it, to unlock the full value of AI, enterprises will need edge intelligence anywhere their business operates. And with that, I'm so excited to talk more about how we are now bringing these AI superpowers to the edge, very similar to how we thought about it 10 years ago. We're building on the exact same capabilities, the exact same platform our customer is using today, but we're adding additional capabilities that really allow us to focus squarely on the AI opportunity. So with that, I'm super excited to announce the launch of ZEDEDA's Edge Intelligence Platform. So this platform helps you with creating intelligence at the edge, using edge AI and using AI itself, and we'll talk a lot about that today. It allows you to secure your edge AI, and it allows you to operate edge AI at scale. What makes it unique in our view? It's AI powered. And I'll show you later a little recording we made of a demo of how the product works. But it's really purpose built to create and operate edge AI and physical AI from the ground up. The second piece, it builds on our very strong security architecture in the product. If you know anything about ZEDEDA, we've relentlessly focused on security from the early days, building a highly secure operating system, and we think about security at every layer possible. And frankly, I think one of the reasons that these large enterprises I mentioned earlier trust us is because the fact that we invested so much in security in the early days. We're taking that now from the infrastructure and application level and moving it to the AI level through models and agents. And last but not least, it's enterprise grade. It's proven in the field at scale. We have tens and tens of thousands of nodes under management of customers, and a multiple of that in terms of applications. And we have shown integration existing operations of all these enterprise, existing applications, existing authentication frameworks, existing hardware, all of that we've been able to prove. And so we're building on those layers to further drive the edge AI capabilities. So we also in the survey asked what are the use cases that people are planning for or preparing. And the kind of four came out that I want to talk a little bit more in detail about. Number one is customer experience optimization. Our customers are looking to improve the experience of their products and services to their customers. Well, one customer that we recently closed is a company that not many have heard of. It's a company called Sonny's, and what they do is they build car washes. Actually, in the US, there's over 10,000 conveyor belt car washes that they have sold and deployed and they service for many, many users and many, many customers of them. And through our product, they've actually built the AI-enabled car wash. And a lot of people go like, well, hold on, what does a car wash have to do with AI? Well, I'll tell you what. First application they did was predictive maintenance on all the moving parts of the car wash. There's lots of things that push the car through and make the water and the soap and everything come to clean your car. But they're able to detect failures, and they sell this as a subscription to their customers, so these car washes have as little as possible downtime. They used to use sonar to understand the size of the car, because depending on the size of the car, you configure the car wash differently, a pickup truck versus a Mini. Now they use a camera, and the camera is using AI to detect the model of the car and the dimensions of the car. While they detect the car using the camera, they also scan the license plate. And if you're enrolled with your license plate, then they know you're part of their customer loyalty program. And now you can use points you collected and things like that. And last but not least is they're putting even a conversational LLM on the pedestal. So when you drive up, normally you would push some buttons to pick your things. You can talk to it now. Just say, same car wash as last time, and it will just figure it all out for you. So a very common piece of asset was turned into AI. They are selling it as an upgrade to the system to maximize the customer experience. And all of that is running on ZEDEDA already today. Another customer use case, what we're seeing is computer vision. Computer vision is probably the killer application for edge AI. Large amounts of data, it's unstructured. How do I make sense of what's going on in a video feed? We're working with a top 2 global automotive manufacturer, which we're unfortunately not able yet to name, but they use us for all the quality controls in the manufacturing. So when welds happen and other pieces of the car get put together, there's cameras. They detect what car was made at what time, and if there's any quality issues and have to do recalls or anything else, they actually can exactly find out, oh, that came through contaminated materials or whatever else. We're seeing computer vision also in security. We're working with some of the large physical security companies, and they're using AI to tap into security cameras and help with security surveillance and identifying unsafe situations. Energy optimization. We talked earlier about SLB, one of our early customers. They are using AI already at wide operations in their drilling and as well in the exploration. We're seeing anything that has to do with processing data in these energy sites will need and is needing edge AI. And then last but not least, Emerson, another one of our large customers, they recently announced Project Beyond, which is their view of industrial AI and how they will bring autonomous operations to things like refineries, chemical plants, medicine, pharma, and all of those things. So it is happening today. A lot of the customers that we have been working with were providing us the inputs for the Edge Intelligence Platform. And I would say, we're well beyond the art of the possible in edge AI, and we're really now in the actual production and deployment of edge AI. So how does that world look like? Well, imagine you have a factory floor, and there's things happening, and in each machine and each aspect of the business, there is agents running autonomously. They're running on edge compute, edge infrastructure, and they're leveraging edge inference models between perception, reasoning, and action. All of those all happening together. And the way we're thinking about it and the value we provide is how to connect those different layers together. How do we take the intelligence, which really drives the business outcome? This is what the problem customers are looking to solve. Connect that to inference, which is models. They make sense of data, or they can help you figure out what to do with data, and securing them, and then finally operating these at scale, deploying them, and fusing them with existing applications, existing sensors, and existing infrastructure that could be already in these environments, which provides these enterprises a very easy upgrade path and an easy way to start introducing edge AI in their existing operations. So we do this not technically alone, but also from a customer experience point of view. And as I talked earlier about, this is a demo of our product, and we put AI in the core of it. Like, this is a nice GUI, it's beautiful, but you can actually talk to our product. You can tell it, create applications for me, onboard my devices, and help me with managing my infrastructure at scale. This is very similar, like using Cloud Code or using Cloud Cowork or anything else. You can also navigate very easily in the platform. So whatever you want to figure out as a user, those superpowers are available for you. I want to see where my nodes are. Are they healthy? Where are they running at the edge? Where is this ship that I need to take a look at, or whatever else? And then beyond that, as we think about locations, we also allow you to understand what's happening at the inference level. How's my model performing? How's my model performing against other models? Can I run two models of the same data feed on that location and figure out which one is actually doing a better job than the other one? And how does this all tie back into the infrastructure level? This is really an industry first. Nobody has thought about this at this level of depth and at this level of integration. And all of this is available for any customer, also integrating with their own agents and their own capabilities that they may be deploying in the cloud. So today we announced Edge Intelligence Platform, but we didn't stop there. This is the core of where we're building it around. But another announcement that we made today is Edge Intelligence Labs. This is a new organization within ZEDEDA that is focusing on research and applying Edge AI in real environments. So as we work with our customers that are trying to bring in intelligence in their operations, we will work with a set of partners around AI models. We will also have our own learnings and fine-tune models. So very rapidly, we can create a prototype or something to test out in an environment, and then from there, improve and make it production grade. We think this is hugely important because there's right now a lot of models coming out. How can we continue to figure out what are the right models for the right use cases, and how can we make them even better in terms of efficiency and accuracy? We are also announcing Edge Intelligence Appliances. So not only do we create the AI, but also we want to make it very easy to deploy the AI anywhere. And when you start deploying AI out there in the real world, you need real hardware. So what we've done is we've built with a set of partners a full stack ready to deploy solutions. And these solutions come with software, hardware, models, and services support to help these customers start with those first rollouts and then quickly scale them. And we're thinking about it at a variety of scale. We're thinking on one end, small compute nodes. These could be in a robot or very distributed in a factory line. We're thinking about it as more medium nodes. This could be in a store. This could be more central. But also, we are seeing customers saying, I need lots of intelligence because I'm operating in the middle of nowhere. My network to the cloud is very poor, and I have lots of data to process. So give me an ability to pack it together, or even a full-scale container of 40 foot. That is also easy to transport and deploy. And we're doing this with partners like Submer. So really, the goal is to build an edge AI factory solution that can scale from anything small to as large as needed out there in the real physical world. We're doing this with partners. The ZEDEDA's approach has always been that we do this, we're an open architecture. Enterprises have unique needs. They have certain ways of how they like to consume the product, certain things how they're dictated to design these solutions in. So today, we're announcing this group of partners. Some are existing, some of them are new, but these have been great partners from the system integration and infrastructure level all the way down to the hardware side. And we're working, of course, very, very closely with all the silicon chip vendors that focus on edge, from NVIDIA, Qualcomm, and Intel, because you got to maximize the performance and the capabilities of the silicon. We're really, truly grateful for all the support of these partners, and many of them are here today, and thank you again for helping us. I want to spend a few minutes talking to two specific partners today that I think have been incredibly strategic for us and very helpful. One is HCLTech, a global leading services company. The other one is Submer. So starting off with HCLTech, please join me in welcoming Gaurav Shah on stage here from HCLTech. Gaurav, welcome. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
All right, Gaurav, maybe give us a little bit of background, first of all, around your role. I know you've been very focused on AI factories. You do product management. You focus on strategy. Talk to us a little bit about your role and how you've seen the AI market evolve from more to cloud and now moving more and more to the edge.
Let me first introduce a bit about HCLTech for those of you who know little or less. So HCLTech is a global system integrator. We are $14 billion plus, fastest growing Indian GSI. Leader in almost all the reports from Gartner's, IDCs of the world in cloud and other services. Present in about 60 plus countries, trying to solve the problems for all of us every day, right? My role at HCLTech is more around, so there are two roles that I play. I play the role of leading the product management strategy for hybrid cloud services. That's entire infra platform services. And then recently I've taken over the role of leading the AI factory globally, which includes the AI Edge as well on that front. From an AI standpoint, I think I couldn't agree more from the keynote and what you just said, right? We are moving towards the inference world now. Actually moving faster than what we had thought on that. But with that movement, actually what is also coming is actually three things. One, how do you integrate and make it simple? Two, how do you make it easier for the customers to consume? And three is, who's going to do it? What's the optimum mix for me for the skills part on the agents and the human mix? How do you actually do it? How do you make sure that whatever you have bought is being operated well on that? I think those are the three things that we are seeing in AI moving very, very fast, and that is where at scale these things matter when you do.
Excellent, thank you. Well, one of the things that came out of our survey was obviously some folks struggling with the lack of basically knowledge and expertise in this area. Talk to me a little bit about how HCLTech is addressing that, and maybe also a little bit of where you're seeing the immediate opportunities to address some of these gaps.
Okay, so let's say from a skill or talent perspective first, if I were to say, we are looking at very, very focused, customized kind of academies. Two, from an agent perspective also, we are working on making sure that what are the kind of agents, like with one customer, we are looking at about 200 plus agents in different areas. So you have to look at agents both from, how do you run agents from a customer experience perspective, but also making sure what you are running is being run in the most optimized manner on that. And how do you look at the human agent mix in the most optimum way, not only today, but 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, what will happen on that? Will that mix change? How will that mix change? Now, changing that mix is not only, you get more agents in and you get humans out or you increase. It also means that you need to look at your processes. You need to look at your entire, let's say you have architecture boards or other things that are also there, right? So making sure that entire thing or that entire ecosystem is being optimized for maximum value is what we are trying to do by looking at all those pieces. From an AI, edge AI perspective, I think there are three things that we are seeing in the market. A lot of it you have already shown, but if I were to put it in a system integrator's parlance, then one is, how do you make the edge more resilient? How do you make sure that there's not only security at the edge, but you have more resilience at the edge that is there? Second, with all this distributed edge that is coming in, you've got different devices, you've got different places in manufacturing parlance, let's say you have plants and other things, right? How do you make sure that it is simplified to consume in a unified manner? I think that's the second thing that we are seeing. And the third piece, of course, is most optimized, cost-effective way. How do you make sure that your RUs are aligned and you are getting the most value out of it?
Excellent, thank you. I know that HCLTech is very strong in certain verticals like retail. Could you share maybe a few words what you're seeing those verticals go through from an AI point of view, both in the cloud as well as the edge?
So, we work across the board with all the verticals, but in this context, if I were to look at it, manufacturing and retail are two verticals where we see a lot of this actually coming in. We have done some very large implementations with some of our customers. I'm not at liberty to take names, but real world outcomes in terms of, for instance, with one customer, how do you prevent more accidents at the site? You can actually predict, you can make sure, you can point out that an accident is about to happen because there are certain conditions that have not been met on that. In case of retail, how do you make sure that additional revenue comes in, make sure that what the customer is looking at, you're able to predict a lot of those things. I think that is where we are doing quite a lot of work with the customers. As the scale comes in, I'm sure we'll see much more on that front.
Perfect. Well, we're really excited to partner with you. Thank you again for joining us today as well on stage, and looking forward to a great collaboration together. Thank you so much, Gordon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. All right. So with that, I'd like to also ask you to join me in welcoming Patrick Smets, CEO of Submer, on stage. Thank you. Patrick.
Nice to meet you.
So really excited for you to be here. Thank you again for joining us. Obviously we've been talking already for a while around the partnership between Submer and ZEDEDA, and we're so excited about it. We're actually going to have a separate press release about it tomorrow, but this is already a preview to that. Maybe you want to talk a little bit from your angle, what got you excited about partnering with ZEDEDA, and then let's maybe talk a little bit also about the background of Submer. Who's Submer and what do you guys do?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thank you for having us here. So I'm very excited about this partnership, Said, because I think after your explanation also here today, it's very clear that you guys focus on real-time use cases that are actually monetizable today, and that needs edge compute. And that excites us as a company very much, and this is also what Submer is excited about. And so what is Submer and what Submer is doing is, I would say we are a global company that provides compute solutions everywhere in the world where you need it. So we deploy compute solutions in core data centers, but we also deploy them on the edge. We also deploy them on remote locations or in harsh environments. And so I think a lot of people know Submer from the past where we started. We are an immersion cooled company. We are the global market leader in immersion cooling. So that's why people know us from. But we are not just a liquid cooling company anymore in immersion cooling, but that's where it started. And so we had first one solution very focused on one specific use case. We figured out quickly that there is not one single solution that fits every use case. So we created different immersion cooled solutions. Then we figured out there is not one technology that fits every use case. So we went into full liquid cooling. So we do actually not only immersion cooling, we do direct to the chip and different things too, because we look at the use case and then we look at how you need to deploy it to make it efficient and where you deploy. And so Submer evolved into let's say a full stack company, which we are today. So today we have a cloud business, we have infrastructure business, but I think we are most excited about Edge AI in the future, because I think the biggest capabilities we have is how to create solutions and pods that fits on-prem, so that you could put it in your office nearly, towards edge locations. And we did hundreds of megawatts of remote locations. We were very specialized on the crypto infrastructure, where we did PDUs, full containerized solutions, the dry coolers, the whole cooling solutions. And so, and if you do this kind of deployments of hundreds of megawatts of edge locations, you need to start thinking about a stack that always works. So it needs to be easy to deploy. It needs to always work. You don't want to send in 1,000 different locations, different people to do the maintenance. So you need to think about all of these things. And so you need to have a simple solution, easy to deploy, easy to maintain. And so I think that's a bit what we do as a company, and that's how we evolved. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, one of the things I really enjoyed about Submer, knowing you from also in the past and other engagements, is the incredible uptime you guys are getting by deploying immersion cooling solutions in the desert, like in Abu Dhabi or whatever. Can you talk a little bit more about the learnings and how you guys were able to get to that level of degree of reliability over time?
Yeah, thank you for that. And so, yeah, that's correct. So we did a lot of deployments, also, for example, in the Middle East, in the desert. I think we are probably on the hottest place in the planet there. And so then you need to start thinking about what are the conditions. You will not have a clean environment in the middle of desert. You will have sand, you will have heat, you will have no water. And so what's the right stack to deploy in those environments? And so we have the right engineering team to start thinking about that, because not every situation is not the same. And so we have an engineering team that looks at the right use case. So what is the compute going to be used for? What's the right stack to deploy? and then making a stack that is very easy to deploy and very easy to maintain. And then we work together with every client we have or partner we have on then actually making sure that's scalable, because you don't want to have a bespoke solution for every location. And so that's, I think, the heart of our company is engineering. I think majority of our people are engineers, and it's about making the right solutions. And I think the success is in really understanding from chip level cooling to rack level cooling to actually what compute is on that, understanding the IT, understanding the networking part of it. So understanding the full stack to have the right solution. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, one of the things that I think we're both really excited about is, there's ways how cloud data centers today are built to host AI and GPU, and reliability is important, the cost is quite high. But I think for Edge AI, we can start changing some things, don't you think?
Yeah, I truly believe that. So again, I think you were also in the crypto space before.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you have seen how the costs have gone down from infrastructure in the crypto space, I think now we are probably at 10% of the costs where we were 2-3 years ago of infrastructure. The same will happen in AI, and the only way of doing that in AI is actually having at scale deployments. So you need to start productizing data centers. Now, every data center is built differently. They're very bespoke, very manually built out, very sequentially. But if you think about Edge, then you can change it because you have real monetizable use cases. So there is something where you can immediately make money with. It's useful for companies very close to them. To have them, for example, you will have surgery robots, you will have self-driving cars. So there is a lot of applications that will need that, and hence it's very important to have that very close to them. But if you have that close to you, then you cannot just do it manually, you cannot just do it in a traditional way. So you need to start productizing them in factories. So you need to make solutions that could be scalable, just like you manufacture cars. So you're not going to manufacture a car anymore with hand, you're going to do that in factories. And so we believe as Submer that you need to productize AI, and we are doing that at scale for the Edge, and we believe that it will also democratize the cost of AI in the future, because today it's just too expensive to deploy infrastructure that you need at the scale that we will need, because you will need to have gigawatts and hundreds of gigawatts in the world. You're not going to do that at the cost levels of today or in the methods of today.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that really exciting for me as well is as we build a more efficient solutions, we can distribute them. I guess that helps a little bit with the power problem because it's harder and harder to find large amounts of power everywhere. And then I think the other thing that we've really been excited about is like how we can work with service providers and telcos to allow them to be able to deploy AI infrastructure all the way in their own networks.
Yeah, correct. Because I think we are a bit aligned there. I think if you think about sovereign AI, a lot of those workloads needs to be in country. It's the same like energy. You have this, I mean, you not want to depend on an energy of another country because if electricity goes down, your industry stops. The same with AI, you don't want to have in 10 years your AI going down in your country because your industry will stop. And so every country will want to have in-country infrastructure, sovereign infrastructure. And we believe working with telcos and embedding actually solutions inside telcos, infrastructure, and using the vectors of telcos to go to clients, together with ZEDEDA, for example, could be a very interesting game for the future and be very interesting from a sovereignty. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Well, needless to say, I think we're super excited partnership. I think you are as well.
Yes.
We're looking forward to start, taking this to the next level. And with that, I want to really thank you for coming on stage with us today and sharing the partnership story.
Thank you.
Thanks, Patrick. All right.